morning. This is Dr. Shankar, Department of BBA. Now we are going to discuss about stress management. Before entering into the stress management topic, we have to know about what is stress. Actually, nowadays, not only adult, even the children use and pronounce the word called stress. According to the psychiatrist statement, the person who is in severe stress for 3 months of period, he will go for the stage of coma. This is a statement of better a psychiatrist. Okay, so we are going to discuss about what is stress. The stress is defined as a state of mental and emotional pressure or the strain caused by challenging or unfavorable circumstances. So, wherever the person mentally and emotionally get in a pressure or the strain and the time of challenging or unfavorable circumstances, they feel stress. Not only unfavorable situation, sometimes whenever we got in chances or challenges and then opportunities also get a stress. The stress can be classified into two types. First one is eustress and second one is distress. Eustress means the positive, the stress which improves the performance, which means that the stress acts in a positive way and it brings the positive results to the organization as well as the development of individual. Distress is a negative stress which affects the performance, which means that stress is acted in a negative manner and it brings loss of motivation, reduces the performance, brings behavioral, mental and physical problems. So, whenever the stress acts in a negative way, it will be defined as distress. If you look at this diagram, we know about how the stress acts individually. So, a lack of stress and overload of stress. Here, a performance. So, whenever we giving the optimum level of stress, until then it will be the performance of the employees will be this. If suppose you are giving overload of the stress to the individual, it brings the distress activities, which means that it affect the individual performance and as well as reduce the individual performance. So, every person needs certain level of optimum level of stress. If you giving or injecting the optimum level of stress, the person will be work in a productive way. So, what are the sources of stress? The sources are classified many ways according to the organizational needs as well as according to the individual needs. The first source of stress is career concern. So, every career having or needs certain level of demand. So, the demand in a particular area brings the stress to the particular demand. And second one is role ambiguity. Here, ambiguity means this, there is no clarity. The role unclarity. What I want to do to achieve the organizational goals. What kind of power I have to, it's not clear in the sense it is called as role ambiguity. And next one, a rotating work shifts. Sometimes the employee's work shift is continuously rotating, the personal activities or personal programs will be entirely collapsed. So that affects the personal life of the individual. So the rotating shift also is one of the source to the stress and role conflict. Here, what I do, what is my role in the organization? There is a conflict in the sense it is considered as one of the source and occupational demand. Every occupation needs certain level of demands based on their work activities. So the demand will be increased in the sense it will be one of the sources. Take an example of that. If a person working in a marketing area, unfortunately he will be transferred to the financial area. He needs to know about the technological support like Tally and all. So that considered as occupational demand. The person unknowing things want to be known in a particular duration, it brings the stress to the individual. And lack of participation in a decision making. So it's a very important concept in management. Every employee must be allowed to participate in a decision making activities. If it fails, it brings the stress to the individual. Work overloaded. If any employee overloaded with their work, automatically the person gets stressed. Why? In a sense, they never get enough time to complete their task. Whenever you are never gotten enough time to complete your task, automatically it brings the stress to the individual. Work under load. Not only work overloaded giving the stress to the individual, as well as work under load also brings the stress, because the person do not have any work appointments with the activities in the organization. That also brings the stress to the individual. And poor working conditions. The poor working conditions means that there is no workers related benefits, or there is no safety as well as welfare measures, which means that is considered as a poor working conditions that will be affect entire organizational activities. The poor working conditions also considered as one of the source for stress. And lack of group cohesiveness. Here, group cohesiveness means how they are having the relationship within their group. Within their group, there is a conflict in the sense that organizational goals have never been attained in a particular period. So the group members' relationship also one of the factor to the source of the stress. Interpersonal and intergroup conflict. As I said earlier, within a group as well as within themselves, they need to get a clarity and they have to work without conflict, interconflict or interpersonal conflict. Next one, organizational change. The organizational change means changing the technological as well as the entire organizational process will be changed. In this sense, it will be considered as an organizational change. How the organizational change brings the stress in the sense, the entire process of an organization is changed in the sense, already working employees need to know about what are the process we are going to do, and they want to learn more about that. So that brings the stress and lack of social support. Every human being depends on the social or society. If the society is not supporting to the individual, that automatically brings the stress to the individual. Effects of the stress. The effects of the stress can be classified in the three categories: physical effects, behavioral effects, and mental effects. So, whenever the person feels too much of stress, these are all the effects of the particular person. The physical effects of headaches, muscle tension, chest pain, fatigue, upset stomach, sleep issues. And behavioral effects: tobacco use, overeating, drug use, social withdrawal, physical outburst, less exercise. And mental effects are anxiety, restless, lack of motivation, lack of focus, anger and depression. So these are all the effects of the stress. If the physically, these are all the effects will be faced by the person who is in a severe stress. And behaviorally, these are all the effects but in the person who is in a severe stress. And mentally, these are all the effects of the individual. So in this mental effects, anxiety means continuous worry. What are happening in their life? The particular person who is in a stress may feel worry about why happened to me. What is the necessity it should be happen to me like this? And restless, even they are sleeping, but in a mind it's a continuously running some of the activity. And third one, lack of motivation. Motivation is also one of the very important thought. It should be given to the employees as well as the person. Sometimes the motivation is self-created. Individual wants to motivate themselves and lack of focus. The person is never focused on the particular activities, and then anger, we know about the anger means that suddenly we get in angers in a particular event. Sometimes we are use the terminology called displaced anger. Why in this way? The things maybe happened somewhere, I showing my anger to this someone else. This is called displaced anger. So depression, the person is unable to do, or they are never been, or they are unable to cope with the activities. It's called as a depression. Next slide. Okay, the stress management techniques. So the first one is friendly social networks. Nowadays, most of us using these stress management techniques, but it's negatively creating the impact for the individual, and we are spending more time with the social networks. That also brings the stress to the individual. But friendly social networks like SMS and then WhatsApp and then Facebook, you have to work in a very productive manner, in the sense it kind of activity which is supporting us to getting the relaxation from your stress and reducing noise. Sometimes if you get in a more noise, which means irritating noises or entirely disturb your activities, so the noise reduced in the sense it brings the one kind of stress management technique. And self-limitations, we have to know about what is our limitation. You have to stand within your limitation. When you are past your limits, definitely brings the stress. So it's better you to stand with your self. And next one, exercises. So exercises also one of very better stress management technique which directly supporting us to getting relaxation from your stress. And next one, healthy diet. Nowadays we are never concentrating on their diet, especially healthy diet. Healthy diet means that taking the food which brings very healthy and sleep habit. Sometimes sleeping also one kind of activity which reduces our stress. And next one, time management. Most of us spending time in irregularity activities, as well as we are forget to manage our time in an effective manner. Time management is a process which means that we have scheduled our time period, accordingly we have to work. And then meditation, it's also one of the activities of stress management, doing the meditations which supporting us to get relaxation from your stress. Thank you all.